The following is a reading of Rape Culture is Rape, which will be sent out on the Community Organized Compassion and Kindness mailing list in the next day or so. You can get yourself on the mailing list by clicking the link in the description of this video. And now the reading. One of the things we've been repeatedly told by name-brand feminists, as well as non-feminist men and women merely practicing the modernized form of chivalry, is that we are all a part of something called a rape culture. Alternately, the claim is made that rape culture, whatever that might be, is a central feature of our society. But what is rape culture? Well, it's the name for a theory that we live in a culture that enables male rapists and shames female victims of rape. According to current conventional thinking, the term was coined by second-wave feminists as a description of societal acceptance of the rape of women. This is a popular but an incorrect belief. In fact, the term rape culture was used by the Black civil rights movement of the 1960s to describe the climate of acceptability of rape of American prison inmates within the American justice system. The terminology was a powerful encapsulation of the indifference towards the civil rights of inmates within the prison system who were mostly black men. Recognizing the persuasive power of the Black civil rights rhetoric, the term was stolen by the women's movement as a label to describe their claim of casual indifference towards female targeting rape in civilian society. And the feminist version of history is now the official version. And according to them, we are all a part of what they call a rape culture. Susan Brownmiller's 1975 book Against Our Will defined the term rape culture to mean nothing more or less than a conscious process of intimidation by which all men keep all women in a state of fear. This particular version of the feminist definition of rape culture may be the most relevant to our current understanding of the term. And despite the 1975 authorship of the book, it remains current because Brownmiller's ongoing contributions to organs like the Huffington Post, Salon.com, and Washington Post continue to promote her 1975 title in her contributor's byline. It's the version of the ideology which now informs a social and legal climate on American college campuses. This is the one in which an accusation of sexual misconduct made by a female against a male student is transmuted to automatic guilt by accusation. And through sublimation of the feminist idea of rape culture into broader general-purpose cultural assumptions, you don't even need to be a feminist to bang that drum. In 2011, the U.S. Department of Education issued a directive to colleges in the form of a Dear Colleague letter that if they wanted to continue receiving Title IX funding, they'd better handle accusations of sexual misconduct with non-judicial due process abrogating star chambers. And that directive, followed by others, is what now informs official policy on college and university campuses. You know the college campuses of the U.S. where we are told the strongest and most pervasive manifestation of rape culture resides. The same college campuses which now feature a 65% and upwards female population and a constantly increasing female enrollment while female-favoring affirmative action continues. And the women themselves, the ones who keep enrolling at university and college and taking on massive debt for that privilege, they're taking on that debt so they can participate in what we keep hearing is a female victimizing rape culture. Does this sound like a coherent view of reality to any of you? Barbar, please put your hand down. And rape happens to be the violent crime shown in the U.S. Department of Justice criminal victimization stats to be the lowest incidence violent crime tracked by law enforcement. But despite that fact, we as a society now operate on the default assumption that rape culture is a real thing, and the idea that rape is enabled, supported, and facilitated by embedded or unexamined assumptions, at the same time that rape is one of the most socially egregious criminal offenses in the entire catalog of monstrous behavior by human beings. Well, we either support rape or we don't. Well, which one is it? And the fact is, the belief in rape culture is a false belief that nobody except a moron actually buys into, but due to social pressure to appease feminine sensitivity, the mainstream of our culture continues to pretend that it's real. We don't actually live in or believe in a rape culture, but we live in a narrative of rape culture so that we all have to agree with it or we face severe social censure. What we actually live in is a rape culture. That's not an accidentally repeated word. It's a story of rape culture. It's a narrative of rape culture. Or as I've said previously, a culture of rape culture. And it's why if you're a man on a college campus, your continued standing as a viable person, not to be destroyed, depends entirely on the forbearance and on the good behavior of every single female on campus who happens to know your name. The slightest offense, whether real or just imagined, can result in an accusation of sexual misconduct. A sexual encounter which did not fulfill every single expectation of the female participant can result in an accusation of sexual misconduct. A man who avoids a sexual encounter that a woman wanted to participate in can also result in an accusation of sexual misconduct against him. And a girl who did something stupid, like missing an important exam because she slept in or she forgot to write down the date, can also result in an accusation of sexual misconduct against a male student whose name she picked from a list of the other students in her class. And in any of these accusations of sexual misconduct, there will not be a judicial inquiry focusing on evidence. There will not be legal due process. There will not be the presumption of innocence, the thing that underlies the Western world's concept of justice. There will be an accusation, a star chamber staffed by college employees, not legal experts, and the destruction of that male student's academic life, and the destruction of whatever future career he might later have pursued. And that's what we now call a rape culture. And that guy, the one named in an accusation, the one who might have just pissed off some chick by not asking for her number, he is the guy who's going to go through that no due process meat grinder. He is the one who will have his academic career terminated. And this is the part nobody seems to grasp, what I'm about to say. The accusation made against him is the attack. It is an attack made on a student using that elaborate and nearly unstoppable college administrative system. That's the machine. It's triggered by a few spoken words. I was raped. In the current system, the words I was sexually assaulted do not mean I am a victim, help me. Those words now mean I am the executioner, destroy him. The female idea of I am the victim now has an entirely new meaning. It means I am filled with wrath, and the enemy I point to shall be besieged to his doom. The accusation is not even really an accusation, it's just an order for execution. But of course it's still sexual. It always was, and it remains now an act of sexual power. It is the assault on a student, using sex as the weapon of that assault. In the college rape culture, the accusation of sexual assault is itself sexual assault. If you are accused, you are assaulted. Your privacy will be stripped away. Your reputation as a decent human being will be stolen, discarded, and burned. Your education will be taken from you. Your social connections will be destroyed. You will be isolated. You will be attacked and smeared. Your job prospects will be closed off. Your accomplishments, whatever they may be, will be taken away from you. And it will not stop. The assault on your person will go on for years and years. An accusation of sexual assault is not a victim saying, help me. It is a tyrant saying, there is the enemy, destroy him, that boy. Attack him, end his life, foreclose his future. And a woman on a college campus who pronounces herself a victim of sexual assault is not a victim, but she is in fact a sexual predator. She is the rapist, using the system of the school, using its interlocking gender ideological studies faculties, and the administration of the school as her tool of rape. An actual victim would have gone to the police. An actual victim of a crime would use the courts, not the administrative staff of a business whose products are massive debt and academic credentials. And it is to that young man that this message is aimed. You, dude. You, listening to my voice now. When you walk onto a college campus, you are not at risk of being accused of a crime. Being accused of a crime is what happens when somebody makes a report to the police department, whether that report is made truthfully or falsely. You are not at risk of being accused of a crime. What you're actually at risk of is being sexually assaulted or raped through an elaborate college administrative system. This has almost nothing to do with your either appropriate or inappropriate behavior. You are the target of a system designed to attack you based on the attack-initiating phrase, uttered far away from you, in an office somewhere, in secret, like a sniper shooting from behind concealment. And it is not my goal here to dismantle this administrative machine. It's not my goal to drive reform. It is only my goal to inform you that rape culture is real and you are the target. But you're not the victim. You'd better not be the victim. And if you become the victim, I am going to blame you. That's right, I'm going to blame you for being the victim. And all of the social justice warriors in the world, the same ones who cry victim blaming like it's a capital crime, they are going to blame you as well. This is the part you need to understand. That accusation against you is not actually an accusation. It's simply an order issued by any of the small tyrants all around you that you are to be attacked using the weapon of sex through the machinery of administrative violence. An accusation of sexual misconduct on a college campus is not an accusation. It is simply an assault. More precisely, it is an assault on you using administrative proxy. Thank you for your kind attention, and have a lovely day.